With the most recent updates around including final table preflop ranges, open raising, cold calling, 3-betting, multi-way content, money bubble content, and also a database analysis for low, mid stakes and high stakes, exactly showing you what population is doing on the stakes and what we're supposed to counter, or what we're supposed to do in order to counter that in order to maximize our profit. A lot has changed with the Tournament Masterclass from the very first day when we released the course. And I get this question a lot. Yeah, but what can I expect, and what has changed? Is the course still up to date? And yeah, what is different to other courses? Since back then there weren't really many tournament courses. There was one with upswing poker, and these days there's so many more tournament courses. And of course we have our unique take on tournament poker. Other sites have a different take and a different approach, and I'm not saying other sites are worse or we're necessarily better. This is up to you. I think the students have to judge which course they prefer. So in this video, I simply want to show you what you can expect and what kind of content you can also find in the Tournament Masterclass. So we also have added an entire separate course called the GTO Bible from Math Wizard and Poker Strategy Flagship Tackleberry, aka Big Fish, who has been coaching his concepts for the pokerstrategy.com community for many, many years. And we have added an entire course that we actually wanted to have as a standalone course, but we thought it's such a great entry in order to understand GTO poker, in order just to understand the most basic fundamentals when it comes to the math of poker. So in this video, showing you some of the most recent updates, which I just mentioned, then what is different to other courses. And listen, what is very, very important to me is that you don't need to ask me whether this course is good for you or not. I'm not going to try to convince you. It's basically take it or leave it. I'm handing it over to you, and now it's up to you with all the information that we're presenting, my approach on poker, my approach on teaching poker, my appearance, my level of English, all the information you need to take into consideration in order to make a judgment whether you want to purchase a course or not. If you come to me and tell me, Ben, should I buy this course? Do you think this course works for me? I don't know, dude. I don't know you. And I made a video that touches base on a few of these concepts on my Bencb channel. We're also going to put the link in the description. In general, for investing in content, in investing in education, spotting good teachers, spotting bad teachers, spotting red flags in order to not waste your money on worthless content. I think I've trapped into that many, many times. So here again, please, there's no point in asking me that question, because I don't know your ability of soaking up content, how fast you can learn, your effectiveness in learning, because you might not be ready yet. And then I don't want you to buy the course. I only want you to buy the course when you're ready, when you feel it's your time, when you also have the time to study and to incorporate the concepts. Then and only then I think it's a good course for you. But I don't know you if you're at that level. You don't need to be an elite player. We're also going to I'm going to be looking into what it requires for you to get the maximum out of this course. But at the end of the day, only you can make that call and nobody else. We have a Discord community where we keep everything transparent. You can join there. You can ask in our public channels, hey, I'm Tom247 from the UK. I'm 24 years old. This is my situation. I've been playing these stakes. This is my experience. I have this job, or I don't have a job. I have XYZ amount of time possible. Do you think this course suits me, or whatever it is? You will get then feedback from others. They can say yes or no, whatever. We keep everything transparent, and you will get much better feedback, because I'm on a complete different level. I'm not saying I'm way further above you. I have been on this journey for a much longer period of time. I'm on a different journey than you are. So I have already experienced millions of hands in poker. You might just be at the beginning in your journey, or maybe somewhere in between. I'm not playing full-time anymore, so I'm not the right person to ask. And many more information on whether it's good for you to sign up for a course or not, you will find in that video that I uploaded on my private channel. And I think it really will help you to have a better judgment when it comes to those situations. And in general, I really like this advice when I make a decision that might be financially substantial, or in general, it is also time consuming when I engage in a new project or engage with new people. For me, it's really just, it's a fuck yes or hell no. There is not really in between. If you have doubts because you don't like my face, you don't trust me, but then, you know, all my success and all the money I made and my Twitch appearance or whatever, you think, but this guy, no, just don't do it, because you have to take my face over and over again. And every single time you see me in those videos and you're not really sure whether I'm legitimate or not, then don't purchase the course in the first place. You also need to take into consideration that simply you don't like people, you don't like certain faces, certain accents or whatever it is, and there might be something that you don't like about me, then just don't do it, because you won't learn as much as you would when you're learning from someone that you like, you can resonate with. It's just sometimes the interhuman chemistry that we have, and this also plays a big role. So please don't sign up when you don't like me. I don't want to have your money. If you like me, if you like my approach to teaching poker, if you think I can teach you something and you really think, yes, there's something that's going to be worth spending my money on, then fuck yes, let's do it. So what can you expect? It's a step-by-step guide from pre-flop to post-flop to ICM, heads up, GTO fundamentals. That's a separate course. I try to keep things very practical. I'm not a big fan. And this, before I started the course, I set myself the rule: whenever I fall into that fallacy of, yeah, you can be looser here, or you can be tighter here, I want to provide exact examples, providing exact hand examples, or provide an exact range and telling you, okay, these are the combos we should be adding. I really try to stay away from that generic bullshit. The ranges I'm adding to the Tournament Masterclass, I'm always going through them, each and every single range. They're personally designed, they're realistic, we add them to our range viewer, they're based on GTO, so we run those sims on our server. I'm going to be looking through them. Sometimes I think they're very much realistic. For the most part, I'm still amending some of the combos, reducing frequencies, adding frequencies if I think this is a spot where we should be bluffing more or raising more. And yeah, it's all amended according to today's population tendencies, and it's just no copy paste GTO ranges bullshit, which I'm not a big fan of, where yeah, people just, you know, take a GTO range, put it to their content, and then say, yeah, we have preflop ranges. I'm really not a big fan of it. This is where I think we stand out and where we make things different. It's very time consuming, but I think it's worth the effort. It's always a healthy mix between GTO fundamentals and exploitative adjustments. So in order to break the rules, playing exploitatively, you need to understand the rules. So I always try to come from a theoretical sound concept and fundament that I'm trying to teach you and explaining, okay, why we doing certain things in theory, and then I'm telling you, okay, listen, like this is something, this won't work on the tables. Bluffing these spots is just stupid. We should never bluff here. These are the spots where you should hammer, second barrel a lot, c-bet a lot, c-bet way more than we supposed to, and then perhaps under bluffing the rivers. I'm showing you the board textures, and I'm explaining you everything the way it works in real life. I'm not a big fan just going through sims and telling you, oh, this is what the solver wants to do because of XYZ, and appearing all smart. Yeah, but unfortunately, it not always works like this in the real world. Always trying to illustrate it with real hand examples. I think it makes the learning experience much better. We have also shortened the content, shorter videos with quizzes. So at the end of the videos, you will face a question that you're supposed to ask to simply make sure that the knowledge you have just acquired manifests itself and hopefully will stick for a much longer period of time. So then, of course, my own take on exploiting populations, I'm not holding back. I provide you all my knowledge, and especially how to tackle marginal spots. I mean, you don't need a course to tell you how to play quads. Of course, very often we struggle in marginal spots, and I'm hopefully able to bring that across, that you will learn, hey, we want to be simplifying in these spots, and this is very, very important to me, that I take out the complexity of poker in those marginal spots and teach you exactly how you can simplify, how you can also approach these spots with a much calmer mind. So simplifying, simplifying, simplifying has been one of my top priorities for this course. And you will also get a call to action at the end of the videos, a homework, what you can do in order to make sure that you're also going to be able to apply it. I don't want you just to feel good while you watch the videos and understand, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to do. And then one day later, you actually have no clue. So these call to action, these homework will make sure that what you have learned will stick around for a much longer period of time. So the content, just quickly here, you can also find it on our website. Open raising, flatting, 3 and 4 betting versus 3 bets, squeezing, multi-way, 4 different stack size, 100 big blinds, 60 big blinds, 40 big blinds, 30 big blinds, 20 big blinds, 10 big blinds. And we keep adding more ranges, preflop ranges and explanation. As I said, all of these ranges, different positions, different stack sizes from the blinds, whatever position you can imagine, personally adjusted. Or for the most important position. So for example, if you have 3 betting button versus middle position, you will then find late position 3 betting versus middle position, or hijack 3 betting versus middle position, and button 3 betting versus middle position. Then you might necessarily don't find cutoff, because you can then assess for yourself, okay, what are we supposed to 3-bet from cutoff? But for the most part, you have all important positions, and for each and single stack size, you're never going to be lost. You're always going to know what you need to do and what are the exploits. So there's also a whole part about explaining theoretical concepts, and even with updated videos where I update the preflop part, not only the ranges, but also if there are new concepts that are born or discovered with all these solvers, I'm putting them into the Tournament Masterclass as well, and tell you exactly what you need to do, what adjustments you need to make. So basically, almost everything is covered. Passive defending from the big blind against every single position, against different bet sizes, against different open raising ranges. Very, very important. Shoving, reshoving, calling versus reshove from each position against every position. Multi-way ranges from the blinds against under the gun open, under the gun cold call, under the gun open, middle position call, under the gun open, late position call. So you see also all these different scenarios, not just 1 or 2 ranges to give you an idea. No, it really covers the most important positions. Post-flop, playing in position, out of position versus the preflop aggressor in position, out of position. So trying to separate between all these different scenarios from different positions. And yeah, 3-bet pots, of course, a module that only focuses on check raising and teaching you the art of check raising, a multi-way post-flop. And then there's also a separate module just for playing out of position. So we dive deeper on playing out of position, how to simplify, how to make your life easier, especially when it comes to c-betting and barreling for out of position. Then there's an entire short stack section with ICM preflop, ICM postflop, playing the money bubble. This is just something I've recently added, and I'm going to keep adding more, especially in larger field tournaments, how to play the money bubble, playing short stack post flop. Of course, playing post flop is different with 20 big blinds than it is with 100 big blind. So here you will find also a module. Playing heads up, then you'll find tournament reviews, my Scoop and WCOOP deep runs, 100K review with Steffen Sontheimer, who's joining me for a couple of videos, the GTO Bible. This is one of the hidden gems in this course, I would say, especially when you struggle a little bit with the math, with likelihood and your statistical likelihoods. He explains it in a very simple way, some very complex mathematical concepts that are very important in poker. Also some great exercises, how to use Pio, how to script, if you want to dive deeper on that. So very, very great course in the Tournament Masterclass itself. And then we have some bonus PKO content with guest coach Rick Ray. You've also, if you want to dive deeper in bounties, there's not going to be like all the bounty content in there because we have a separate course for the bounty course, but we have some bounty content in there as well. And then there's one mindset module, fighting tilt, to give you a better idea what you can do in order to counter your tilt. There are 4-5 webinars, something we do on an ongoing basis, that we run webinars for 1 or 2 hours where we specifically focus on one topic, all these kind of very interesting and sometimes difficult topics. And that's where we can engage with you. You can ask your questions, and these webinars are uploaded and you get access to all the previous webinars as well. Database analysis. So essentially I was running, or me and my team were running millions of hands on all of these different stakes, and I'm going to show you, okay, what you're supposed to do on low stakes, what you're supposed to do on mid and high stakes. This is a project I'm working on right now. So if you watch this video the day right now where it's released, chances are high it's not uploaded yet, but it's in the making. It's going to be added to the Tournament Masterclass, and this is probably one of the most epic updates, because this is just going, like, whenever I do a database analysis, I'm getting freaking horny. I want to play because there's so many spots that we can exploit. I throw all the sims out of the window because that's really where you make money, and there's going to be an epic update. Interactive Discord group with hand reviews and discussing strategy. We have all our coaches active there as well, me including myself on a daily basis. And we also have a no question asked refund period. I think it's at least a week, 10 days. I don't know the exact days, where you can go through the content, see if it's for you. And yeah, if you don't like it, you just get a refund. There's no problem. So what is different? So what is mostly different, I think, are the GTO/exploitative preflop ranges. Based on, I haven't seen all the other courses, but again, if you have the question, hey Ben, what is different? From what I've seen, from what I've heard, when people come to me, it's mostly the exploitative preflop ranges. Every range is designed by me personally. It's amended and adjusted, and it works against population. And I'm explaining them. Also, I have explanation videos, so it's not just copy pasted and then you don't really know why we 3-bet King 7 suited, but then we call King 8 suited, and so on and so forth. ICM final table preflop ranges for different scenarios. I've seen, I think, I'm not sure, but to that degree that, again, I'm working them through in a tournament course. There might be, of course, sites that sell ICM preflop ranges for, and usually they're very expensive. So if you want to just get access to, let's say, 50 big blinds preflop ranges, it's not unlikely that you pay close to 4 digits just for one stack size, or like $600 or $500. It's very expensive. It's worth it. I'm not saying it's too expensive. I actually think our course is just simply too cheap. I know it's a lot of money, but when you look at the market price right now for what a price those ranges are being sold, it's really expensive. And I think it's still worth it because it saves you a lot of time. It basically solves you a lot of preflop problems. And yeah, we have ICM final table preflop ranges for different scenarios, different stack sizes. Starts with 600, big stack, mid stack, short stack, and with your stack size against other stack sizes and all the other stack sizes against each other. So exactly because our preflop range looks different with our 50 big blind stack against the 30 big blind stack than it is against the 40 big blind stack, right? So you see exactly what you need to do against different stack size, and then also keep adding more ranges. I mean, we have an infinite amount of different stack size distribution, so you can't cover all the spots, but I try to cover as many unique situations so you can always abstract. So if there's one spot missing or it doesn't necessarily resemble the spot that you need, that you can orientate on the ranges that are in the Tournament Masterclass, and you at least get an idea. And again, I keep adding more ranges, so I think the chances that there's not a single range that you can't really use in order to get a better idea for your own spot is very unlikely. Very large and in-depth database analysis. I haven't heard of it yet. I mean, it depends when you watch the video. It might have changed. Again, this is now March/April 2021. Extremely positive and hardworking, supportive Discord community. That's the feedback I've gotten, that our Discord community is interacting daily. You get access to one of the brightest minds in poker, from other players, elite players that are active, that have our Tournament Masterclass, that play, whether they're crushing low stakes, mid stakes, high stakes, or coaches as well. And I'm also checking in daily to see what's going on and if I can help. This is something I'm still doing from day one once we release the Tournament Masterclass. Main focus on explaining what works on the table, is not just showing and explaining sims. It's something I've seen here and there. I'm not going to be dropping names, but not a big fan of it. Especially on YouTube, I see that a lot, where just Some people, they pull up a pyro sim and then just appear to be smart. It's not my style of teaching. Sometimes I might be wrong, but on the poker tables, you don't have pyro. You need to rely on your own brain, on your own logics, and this is what I'm trying to teach as well. Regular updates, of course, and my approach, what I also think is a little different than to most sites, is that, and this is also something I'm always trying to implement in the videos, that GTO serves you to understand poker, exploiting serves you to make money in poker. It's also something I tweeted. You will find it also on Twitter. It's something I've been following in poker now for many, many years. Once I started to understand, okay, what's the difference between GTO, what's the difference between playing exploitative poker. Again, in order to break the rules, in order to exploit your opponents, you need to understand the fundamentals, you need to understand the rules. Who is it made for? Rather intermediate players, so not total beginners, experienced at least on micro stakes and above. I would say you should have had played at least 100 tournaments, so to understand the basic rules, to understand the dynamics in tournament poker, understanding basic odds like odds and outs. And you should also be able to invest in tools like Pyro Solver, Hold'em Resource Calculator, and also we have in the GTO Bible how to use Pyro Solver. Also in the short stack section, I show you how to use Hold'em Resource Calculator. So here, you get guidance on how to use these tools. But also understanding basic terms like odds, outs, equity. This is something I'm not explaining the basic terms of poker. So you should already be familiar with those terms. Of course, understanding variance and bankroll management. This is something I find it so basic. Unless there is a demand where really people I want to have this in a course. I really want to know from A to Z to be explained what bankroll management I need. You can come on our Discord. This is for free, and you can ask your questions there. Hey, I don't understand variance. Can someone help me out? Someone has tips for bankroll management. We also have a community there and also even videos for free that are just exclusively for the Discord community. You can come there, join. You don't need to sign up. You don't need to pay any money. You can just be there and also benefit from our community in there. It's made for all stakes. We had players that play the highest stakes that went through my course. And we have also players on low stakes. It also is suitable for online live poker. And it is made for part-time and full-time players, even though here for part-time players, you definitely need very good planning. If you have a full-time job where you are going to be exhausted, I would not necessarily recommend that, because the studying takes some time, and then you also want to incorporate that and do the homework, study on your own, and then play. So here I've met players, shootouts to Angelos, but it's very, very tough. It requires planning. It requires way more sacrifice, and just something where I feel right now like studying some poker, let's sign up for the course. It might not be paying off as much as you think. Yeah, people willing to put in the work. Of course, this course is not a magic pill. My goal is that you become your own coach. So I'm teaching you everything that you need to know to work on your own game as well, and that you can identify leaks and understand the concepts, and not just showing you the results, where you can you can mirror those concepts onto other spots in order to maybe discover things that you can exploit on your own stakes that might not necessarily be a part of the course. That's the goal. I really want you that you don't need another coach, you don't need another course, and you don't even need me, that you can really study your own game and find out, because the game is evolving and you want to be the one that is trying out new things and discovers new leaks in your population tendencies. I mean, that's why you see so many high stakes regulars doing things differently, because they're always one step ahead, and then everyone is catching up. And the moment the high stakes reg it stops trying out new things, starts slacking, becomes lazy, then where it starts, he's falling behind, it starts dying, and he's being catched up or caught up. I don't know if that's the proper way to say, but you get the point, by younger, hungrier, and more aspiring players. So Also the willingness that you try out new things. It's like, hey, you know what, this might actually be working on my stakes, double barreling these specific boards or with specific hands. I'm going to be three betting way more aggressive in certain positions, or even four betting, whatever it is, or playing a final table differently. This is where I want you to go. And not be ashamed if things go wrong. Things will go wrong massively. That's just part of the journey, and you should be okay with it. Yeah, and accept the fact that you will experience downswings. Sometimes it still astonishes me how surprised people are when it comes to downswings in poker. That's just natural. There's basically nobody that will never ever experience a brutal downswing in their career, so better be ready for it. A few more important things. A question that I also get a lot, Ben, how long does it take for me to make money? It's actually a question I don't enjoy responding, because you shouldn't make it for the money. If you make it for the money, then you have way too much pressure. You have way too many emotions involved. In poker, you need to understand, you need to be a rock. You need to be so rational, cold blood, just thinking about what's good, what's plus EV, and not think about, oh my God, I want to buy a car. My goal is to make XYZ amount of money, so in 2 years I can buy me a house or whatever. All this bullshit, you need to cut it out. Otherwise, you are having a massive disadvantage against all those who are going to be emotionally free, going into the battle against you, have no emotional garbage carrying around on their shoulders against you, and you have your house here, your Rolex here, your car here, and you're going to be way too attached to the money. So that's where bankroll management is very, very important. I just want to give you, based on my experience, so you at least have some sort of idea. When I started, it took me around a year where I could take a little bit money off my bankroll in order to pay for my college and some other stuff that I could additionally afford from my poker money without harming my bankroll. I would say 2 years is probably a little more realistic. So, and I've met players it took them 3 years. I've met players it took them, let's put me here. It took them half a year. They had a lucky bink, but I would say on average at least minimum a year full time playing poker. Plan with 15 months, 24 months. This is probably where I would say you have a decent shot to make a living out of it. So if you want to transition from your real-time job into playing poker full-time, first start playing more poker more part-time. It's all about the experience. It's all about learning concepts, and try to get better each and every day. And especially if you don't have the financial pressure, perfect. This already gives you a massive advantage. If you have to pay back any debt, or you are in for just the money in general, you will fail, period. Yeah, study step by step, make a plan. Poker is complex, and it's your responsibility to simplify. I try to teach you that simplicity. And basically, something I'm also mentioning here, target goal versus maintenance goal. It really connects very well with my study plan that I always advise. So let's say you have all these concepts, pre-flop, post-flop, ICM, heads up. Take one spot. For example, you start with studying open raising pre-flop. That is your target goal. So you do it for a week or two, and the moment it appears natural to you to do certain plays without thinking about it, this is where you can put the target goal to a maintenance goal. So maybe here and there, maybe once a week or every 2 weeks, you revisit what you've studied previously just to maintain that knowledge. And your new focus goes on to a new target goal, or the rest of your focus goes on to a new target goal. So let's say you want to focus more about defending against 3-bets and 3-betting yourself. You look at the ranges, you watch the theory videos, you try to apply it in your sessions, you write down the goals, you review the hands, you interact with others, and everything that you need. Look it up in solvers. If we just only talk about pre-flop, you do it for another 2 weeks. Maybe this time it goes faster, only a week, or it takes you longer, 3 weeks, whatever it is. Might be a month. No matter how long you take your time, or no matter how long it takes for you. And when it feels good for you that you recognize certain patterns or certain concepts without really thinking about it while you play, that's a good signal. You won't master it perfect. Don't strive for that perfection. My best advice for studying I can give you, be decent in all of the spots. Be good in all of them. It doesn't matter. If you fuck up some spots, if you're clueless in some of these spots, it's all right. It will happen. You only need to be better than your opponents. You don't need to be perfect. That's enough. All right? And then move on. And then you put 3-betting into your maintenance goal together with open raising. And then here and there you revisit it, maybe 10 minutes reading through some stuff, and then you set a new focus goal. It can happen that maybe something happens for whatever reason, that you discover bigger leaks in your preflop game, that you need to take preflop open raising back from a maintenance goal to a target goal, and you need to revisit it a little bit more thoroughly in order to fix bigger leaks. So this is where you just need to be very honest. Also, studying with others, that's where our Discord community comes into play. Respond to hands, post to hands, share your thought process. Don't give a damn fuck what others might think. That's the only way that our coaches and our community can identify and can give you feedback. We are very relentless and we're very ruthless when it comes to toxic people. If you have the feeling there's someone very negative, I haven't really experienced it over the last couple of months and actually years. I think maybe we had it once or twice where someone kicked out of the Discord community, and now we have over 25,000 members. Usually it's very kind, it's very supportive. So you won't find someone that judges you, so you can really open up, you can show your worst misplays in order to learn from it. And then share your thoughts, and the coaches can jump in and basically tell you what you need to do. So we have an open and public section where you can post on our tournament section, cash game section, and then we have a separate only for the Tournament Masterclass owners that then we just engage around the content, and it's a bit more, of course, unique and exclusive. And if you engage with others, always give value first. I think that's incredibly important. Don't just be the one, I just want to have the value for myself. I don't want to share anything with anyone else. That's toxic, and you're not going to attract the right people. Be the person that you wish to attract. I think it just nails the point. So if you want to have someone that is supportive, that is hardworking, dedicated, positive, then you should be that person, and also being able to help others. Yeah, having people around you is key. People are your greatest resource, one of my biggest beliefs. And you found it in the old intro, and I love this one so much from Gary Vaynerchuk: eat shit for 2 years and eat caviar for the rest of your life. I mean, listen guys, again, if you're just in for some quick money, don't sign up for the course. It's not going to work out for you. Being a poker player, professional poker player, is a lifestyle. And if you use the wisdom of the word lifestyle, it means changing your life, and not just for a couple of months to make some quick money. It's not going to work out. And already, again, the word itself, it tells you that this is a decision for your life. And if you're willing to do that, then I think this course is going to be great for you, and you will experience a lot of freedom once you have reached that level. And yeah, I'm also always preaching you need to balance, you need to take the time off. I think for a certain period of time, for a year or two, when we really dedicate it towards something, we can still take breaks in between. It's still possible. You don't need to live on the street. I mean, not live on the street, but just live only in your room, sleep on your couch. Sleep is important. Your relationships are important. I don't want you to neglect that. But for a couple of weeks, locking in, grinding, studying, and then maybe for a couple of days taking a break, I think this is what we need to do. And if you need to sacrifice a vacation a year, then do it, then go for it. All the great people that have achieved tremendous success have sacrificed something. You don't need to sacrifice everything, but you need to make at least, I would say, one sacrifice, whether it is here and there, your parties on the weekends, watching less Netflix, changing your diet in order to have more focus, or starting any kind of mindful exercise to have a higher level of self-awareness, to encounter your tilt, detect your tilt, being able to detach yourself from those crucial bad beats where you usually would blow up and blow off or spew your stack away. This is key. This is where you need to make a decision, and then it's up to you. All right. But a sacrifice has to be made. and whatever it is. And I think the more you sacrifice, the faster. I think that's the magic pill to quick success, to sacrifice. The more you sacrifice, the more time you have for poker, the faster you learn, and the higher the chances are that you're going to have these scores that you desire. All right. I hope you guys have gotten a good idea on what to expect from this course. More is coming, of course. I mean, if you compare this to the first intro of the Tournament Masterclass, first of all, I'm now on a cam. I think the audio is better, and I think also the content of the course is getting better and better and better. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any other questions. Drop it in the comments. Also, if you're already existing owner of the Tournament Masterclass, I would like to know in the comments, what you like to see more in the future. I'm always trying to take that into consideration, and then see you guys next time.